we're introduced to our main character who was reincarnated once again. He is Rex, a baby boy in this life who was born into a family of farmers. He wonders how he is so self-aware. He then recalls that he was reincarnated born again because he was a hero in his previous life. As the most powerful sword wielder, he defeated all kinds of enemies and monsters. And after dying of old age, he was reborn again like that. From again, Rex means that it is his second reincarnation. He remembers that 2 lives ago, he was a sage who had mastered all sorts of magic at the pinnacle of magicians, and before he knew it, people around him started calling him a sage. However, even though he was hailed as a sage or hero, taking down the demon's king, stopping a ritual of destruction, etc., all he got involved in was trouble, and it was terrible to him. That is why, with his second reincarnation, he wishes to live a simple third life with the being and job that he longed for when he was tied up in the shackles of being a hero or a sage. Rex is excited to live a simple life as an adventurer because it is the symbol of freedom to him, in which he is responsible for anything he does and he can live the way he wants to. 15 years later, our main character, Rex, says goodbye to his parents. In this world, you are seen as an adult at the age of 15, and children part from the protection of their parents to find a job. Rex was open about becoming an adventurer ever since he was little, so his parents were not against his dream. Before Rex leaves, his father tells him that it is his life and he should live the way he wants to. His mother asks him to be well and tells him that he can always come back home when things get rough. Finally, with full preparation, Rex proceeds to leave as he departs and says goodbye to his parents and others. Rex is excited about the beginning of his life of freedom. It is finally his time to become an adventurer. Now that Rex thinks about it, the closest village to him is Togai, and it will take him about half a day if he runs. Rex realizes that he ended up leaving a bit late because of the coming of age ceremony in the morning. He wishes to take care of the adventurer registration as early as possible. Therefore, he decides to hurry up a bit. He plans to drive mana into both of his legs and jump with all that he has gotten. Rex finally sees the village of Togai and heads towards it. He then plans to try the short distance teleportation magic first. However, he suddenly notices a monster in the forest and decides to hunt that before going to the village of Togai. After all, adventurers are meant to hunt monsters down. After going closer to the monster, Rex identifies it as a green monster. It is an average dragon, but just the right level for his simple life. Moreover, he gave his broadsword various power-ups with the permanent enchanting magic he came up with 2 lives ago. So, Rex knows that the green dragon should be a piece of cake for him. Rex then unsheaths his sword and heads towards the green dragon to hunt it down nice and quick. He decides to speed himself up with flying magic and charge right in. On his way down, he notices that the green dragoness seems to be distracted by something else. In any case, Rex continues to head towards the green dragon and hunt it down. The green dragon hears Rex's roar and turns around. However, before it can do anything, Rex slashes its neck and kills it. Rex then simply stores the green dragon's head and the remaining body in a magical sack that he made. The magical sack looks like a normal sack, but the space inside is expanded with magic, so it is great for storing large amounts of anything. After the hunt is complete, Rex decides to get going to the village of Togai before it gets dark. He just wants to go and get registered as an adventurer already. Right after Rex takes his flight, someone comes to the scene. Rex thinks that he heard something, but he proceeds to ignore it and keeps going towards the village of Togai to get himself registered as an adventurer. The person who came to the scene was a soldier, and to him, it all happened in a flash. They were attacked by a monster during their journey, and of all the things, it had to be a dragon, an opponent that takes an entire nation's military in top condition to beat. To him, calling that terrifying monster a formidable opponent would be an understatement. Seeing that the dragon is after the horses, he orders that they will lure in with the horses and escape. Therefore, he orders them to retreat first. He knows that losing their horses there would be a serious blow to them, but they cannot exchange their guards' lives for them. The soldier closed his eyes and asked his Walhan to forgive him. He then says that he will not let him die by himself and decides to fight to the death. However, Rex comes to the scene at the same time and hunts the monster down easily. The soldier is shocked to see a boy hunt the dragon down with only 1 slash. Before he knew it, everything was already over, and while he was dumbfounded, the giant corpse of the dragon was sucked into the small sack that Rex took out. It was an impossible sight in terms of common sense, but a single phrase crossed his mind: magic item. The soldiers then doubt it and think that there is no way a boy like him would have a magic item in the first place. The soldier tries to stop Rex, but he just ignores it. For him, it all really happened in a flash. The dragon that made them tremble in fear was nowhere to be seen, and everything had ended in an instant. He is still unable to believe that the boy took down that dragon in an instant with just a single slash. Suddenly, the soldier snaps back to reality as he realizes that it is not the time for that and wonders where the princess is. He then heads towards the cart and requests his lord Leo to rest assured. He tells him that she may be unconscious, but she is safe. With the relief that the princess was safe, his body became heavy at once. It seemed to him that even his old age held up quite well against the dragon. The soldier had no idea what went on, but at any rate, he says to Walhan that they are alive. He then just continues to wonder who in the world that boy was. After hunting down the green dragon while on his way, Rex finally reaches the village of Togai. At that rate, he believes that he should be able to get registered as an adventurer on the same day somehow. While wandering around in the village of Togai, Rex just wonders where the Adventurers Guild is. After some time, he sees an Adventurers Guild symbol on a board. He peeks inside and is amazed to see what the Adventurers Guild looks like. There happens to be a lot of people, so he wonders if they all are also adventurers. He starts feeling nervous because of the crowd. Suddenly, Rex remembers that he is there for again. He realizes that he needs to hurry to the reception. At the reception, there happens to be a very long queue. The person standing in front of Rex looks behind and asks him if it is his first time lining up at that time of day. Rex tells him that it is his first time. The man understands that he is a newbie. Rex tries to talk to him by asking him if his first job go well, but he then realizes that he does not have any luggage. Therefore, Rex asks him if he is just about to register himself as an adventurer. The man agrees with him and tells him that he left his village as soon as the coming of age ceremony ended. Rex then understands why he is there at such hours. A little later, the man asks Rex where he is from. Rex tells him that he is from the village of Zenj. Because the man had never heard of that village, he asks Rex where it is around, and Rex tells him that if he heads west from the village of Togai and crosses the mountains. Suddenly, the man interrupts Rex as he is shocked to hear that Rex came from across the mountains. Rex then realizes that he surprised him, maybe because he was so excited about becoming an adventurer that he got there too fast without realizing it. Therefore, Rex tells him that he grew up in the mountains, so he took a shortcut, and that is how he got there so fast. Rex then tells the man that the reception seems ready for him, and so the man gets going. After some time, it is Rex's turn. The receptionist welcomes and greets Rex to the Adventurers Guild and introduces herself as Elma. She then asks Rex if he is there to register as an adventurer. Rex agrees with her instantly, but then feels embarrassed to see that she already knows that he has come to register himself as an adventurer. The receptionist, Elma, grins and tells him that he was talking so loudly with Garlandson a few moments ago. Elma then tells Rex that they will proceed with registration. She asks him if he knows how to read and write. Rex assures her that he can write since he was a sage 2 lives ago. In that case, Elma asks him to fill out the form. He takes the form and proceeds to fill it. After he is done, Elma checks the form and compliments Rex for his handwriting. Aside from that, Elma tells him that they have openings for guild staff for people with nice handwriting. Rex insists and says that he wants to be an adventurer. Elma smiles and asks him to consider it should you retire. Next up, Elma tells him that he needs to take a practical test. While wondering what she means by a practical exam, someone comes from behind and puts his hand over his shoulder as Elma tells him that they will have him fight and see if he has what it takes to be an adventurer. Rex looks at the man behind him with a sturdy equipment and appearance and the most strong-willed attitude out of all the adventurers in the building. Rex simply understands that he is actually strong by just looking at him. He asks his Elma-chan if she can let him handle the exam for this little boy. Elma questions him what he means by that and reminds him that he is a rank adventurer. Seeing that he came at such an hour, Orkson assumes him to be a promising boy and says that he will definitely want to instruct him as a senior. Moreover, he whispers into Elma's ear and says something to her. Finally, Elma is convinced by her Orkson. Elma proceeds to deeply apologize for everything happening so suddenly and tells him that instead of a guild staff, Orkson will be in charge of his exam. She then tells him that Orkson is a bit of a problematic person, but he really isn't a class adventurer. So, this could be a better experience for him than fighting against a retired guild staff. Rex bows down in front of him and says that he is looking forward to the exam. Orkson is happy to see him full of energy and says that the old man likes energetic youngsters like him. Suddenly, an announcement is made that they will be closing orders for buying their materials soon, requesting everyone to hurry up if they still have anything to sell. Rex then remembers that he needs to sell too. When Orkson asks him if he wants to sell something to them, Rex says that he was thinking of selling materials from a monster that he hunted outside for money, food, and lodging since he is penniless. Orkson laughs and slaps his back while telling him to go sell his stuff first since they will probably be done with the appraisal during their exam. Rex thanks Orkson and he is grateful that he is a nice guy. Finally, Rex pulls out his magical sack and brings out the dead body of the green dragon that he hunted and asks for its price. Everyone, including Orkson, is surprised to see the dragon's dead body. Rex puts the dead body of the dragon on the floor since it is big and says that he would like to see that green dragon. Rex then approaches Orkson and apologizes for making him wait while asking him to start the exam. Orkson trembles and asks Rex to wait a second. He asks him if he hunted that dragon, to which Rex confidently says that he hunted it while he was on his way to the village of Togai. Orgsan then continues to ask him questions about whether he hunted it with someone else and how he did it. Rex also continued to answer him confidently by telling him that it caught him off guard from a blind spot and he cut its head in half with his sword. Orgsan was unable to believe it and said that it looked like a dragon since it had wings and everything. Rex assures him that it is a green dragon. Orgsan then smiles and concludes that it is a dragon and not a wyvern. Rex then asks him if they could get started with the exam. Orgsan shouts out loud that he has passed the test. Wondering what he means to say by that, Rex reminds him that they have not fought yet. Orgsan assures him that it is fine since the exam is to see if he can fight well against monsters and thieves, so if he can take down a monster by himself then there is no need for the exam. He then congratulates Rex for becoming a new adventurer. He is one of them now, so he does not need to fight with him. Rex turns around and asks Elma-san if he really passed as Orgsan says. Seeing that the proctor has said that, Elma-san agrees that he has passed the exam and congratulates him. Finally, Rex has become an adventurer and can live as an adventurer. Elma-san then hands him his Adventurers Guild registration card. She then requests him to present that card at the counter when accepting a request from there and when he completes one. Moreover, Elma-san tells him that the adventurers first start off at F rank, but their rank will go up as they establish a track record. With a higher rank, he will be able to accept more kinds of work. Rex then assures her that he will work hard to raise his rank. Seeing that Rex can already hunt down a dragon, Elma-san says that he is alright even if he does not work hard. Rex does not hear her properly and asks her if she said something. Elma-san denies and tells Rex about the appraisal for his dragon, that it is actually difficult for them at the guild to buy it, or rather, it is impossible for them to buy it. Rex is stunned to hear that and wonders if the green dragons are so common in the market that they are worthless and they cannot buy them. Orgsan is also confused to hear that and asks Elma-san what is that supposed to mean and wonders how can she possibly reject buying that. Elma-san then tells them that it is because the dead body of that green dragon is just too clean. Orgsan asks Elma-chan to stop teasing them and explain to them already. Therefore, Elma-chan tells them that as they all may know, dragons are enemies that many parties band together in order to defeat. Because they are so dangerous, people fight them together with their lives on the line. So, even if they defeat one, it is normal for the body to be somewhat dangerous. It is only natural for dragon materials to be tattered. Rex is amazed to hear that. Moreover, Elma-chan tells them that in rare cases, they are able to gather parts that happen to miss attacks and avoid damage, but those parts are extremely valuable. The people around there notice that the dragon is not damaged at all. Aside from where it was cut, even the scales are sparkly clean. Looking at the cross section, they just wonder how it is possible to cut it so smoothly. Concluding what she means to say, Elma-chan says that the entire dragon is a treasure. They say there is no useless part to a dragon and that is a particularly exceptional case. However, their branch does not have enough budget to buy it. Therefore, they will need to take it to the capital first to put it up for auction. Elma-chan then asks Rex if he could let them store that dragon at the Adventurers Guild and assures him that they will make sure to sell it at an appropriate price. Rex is disappointed to hear that and apologizes since he cannot do that. Elma-chan is shocked to hear that and asks him why he cannot do that. Moreover, she tells him that if they put it up for auction, they will be able to buy it at an appropriate price. It is definitely going to be an incredible amount of money. Rex then tells her that he is penniless and so if he cannot sell it right away then he will not be able to have dinner, let alone afford lodging. Everyone is stunned to hear that. Everyone starts to yell at Rex and tell him that it is such a good deal, it is a dragon they are talking about. He will be able to kick back for the rest of his life, and he will regret it for sure if he does not sell it. All that Rex could say was that he really does not have money. Orgsan grabs Rex and tells him that he can borrow his money for dinner and lodging since he is going to be able to pay him back the next day anyway. After Orgsan hands over some money to Rex, he asks him if he is really okay with that. Orgsan assures him and tells him to just take it. Unknowing if it is good enough, Rex decides to give Orgsan a token of his gratitude. Rex pulls out an item and apologizes that it is just a piece of scale. Orgsan is stunned to see that. Rex says that it is nothing big but he still wants to give him something in return. Suddenly, Orgsan grabs him and says that he will definitely take it for sure. Orgsan then happily says that the dinner is on him that night and asks Rex to order as much as he wants to. Everyone around them is also happy as they think that Orgsan is treating every one of them and they plan on draining his wallet. Orgsan then tells them that he never said that he was buying for them. And so, to pay everyone back little by little, they went to a nearby bar and let loose to their heart's content. After a long wait, Rex eventually manages to secure accommodation. Exhausted, he sinks into the comfort of his bed, remarking on Orgsan's contagious enthusiasm. Rex perceives his current situation as a thrilling and adventurous experience. Anticipation fills his heart as he eagerly envisions the start of his journey as an adventurer in the coming day. The blend of excitement, curiosity, and a touch of nervousness fuels Rex's inner fire, motivating him further. The very next day, Rex is quite excited now that his adventurer life is finally starting. He enters the Adventurers Guild and decides to look at the request board. At first, he could not see it because of the crowd in front of him. Suddenly, someone recognizes him and greets him as Dragon Boy. He then asks Rex if he is looking for a request. From Dragon Boy, Ree wonders if he was watching the scene the previous day. Rex then tells him that he is thinking of taking one of the permanent F rank requests first. The person finds it unusual that he is looking for F rank requests and assumes that there are some people like that. He then wishes Rex good luck and leaves. Rex simply thanks him and looks for the F rank requests once again. He then recalls that the person sounded like he was implying something. Rex is sure that he meant newbies usually want to aim high and take higher rank requests. Finally, Rex finds a permanent F rank request, which is gathering herbs. The reward is 3 bronze coins per bundle of 10 herbs, but since it is a permanent request, Rex can gather them whenever, and the more he gathers, the more he will get paid. Rex then remembers that last night, Orgsen told him that permanent requests have no failure penalties. He asks Rex if he knows that adventurer requests normally have deadlines or client guidelines that need to be followed, and then tells him that if he accepts a request that is too much for him, then he will end up getting a fitting penalty. Therefore, the best request to accept is his first is a permanent request which does not have one. While remembering this, Rex feels touched to think that not only did he lend him money, but he also gave him valuable information. In any case, Rex remembers that he used to gather herbs often when making potions back in the countryside. At the same time, someone comes to Rex and asks him if he is accepting that request. Rex agrees with him while thinking that he looks about his age. He then says that he has become an adventurer like them now that he is an adult and even a kid can gather herbs. By looking at his light clothes, Rex assumes him to be a light warrior. The girl in the back appears to be a thief while judging others for their equipment. Rex assumes that they are a magician and a priest. Rex is amazed to see that they are adventurers too. The boy introduces himself as Gyro, the leader of Team Dragon Slayers. The magician yells at Gyro and says that she already told him to cut it out with that name, but Gyro finds it as a good name. The priest then tells Gyro that it is pretty embarrassing, and so the thief agrees with their opinions and calls it weird. Rex says that he thinks that the name sounds cool. Gyro gets happy to hear. It appears to him that Rex has got his good points, and so he asks Rex to be his underling if he wants to. In any case, now that Rex is also an adventurer, Gyro says that he might as well go with more of a bang. Moreover, he says that if he keeps doing small-time jobs like herb gathering, then he will be going to stay a low-class adventurer forever. While no one is actually paying attention to what he says, Gyron concludes by saying that he will surpass the rumored Dragon Slayer. Rex wonders who is the Dragon Slayer. Hence, Gyro tells him that he just casually appeared at the guild the previous day and asked them to buy a dragon in crazy good condition. Rex wonders if there was someone other than him too who asked them to buy a dragon. Rex then thinks that if there is a rumor about him, then he is sure that he must have taken it down a lot better than someone like him. Gyro then says that he heard that he took it down so cleanly that the guild could not buy it, so he is going to put it up at an auction for the nobles at the capital. In any case, Gyro dashes towards the door and says that they are going to go take care of their monster extermination work and suggests Rex to find cooler work too instead of doing something boring like gathering herbs. The magician girl apologizes to Rex about Gyro just saying whatever he wants. She tells him that Gyro might be dumb, but he is not a bad guy. They then rush after Gyro to catch up with him. Rex, on the other hand, thinks that it must be nice having companions, but then he remembers that he needs to take care of the request that he accepted. Rex goes into the forest near the village of Tagai and starts searching for the herbs there. While looking around, he guesses that it is somewhere around him. He did this regularly back at his home, but it feels strangely special to him knowing that it is an adventurer work. He decides to look under the shades for herbs and finally finds some. Rex knows that it is the leaves that are used for those kinds of herbs, so if he leaves the roots, then they will grow back again and again. While Rex continues to look around for the herbs, he finds a lot of them around him. Rex thinks that at that rate, he might not just get the set amount of rewards but also be able to pay back the 5 silver coins he borrowed from Orgsen in no time. While Rex derives pleasure from the act of gathering herbs, he reminisces about his past experiences back home. In the village where he resided, there was an absence of shops, and thus it was incumbent upon him to personally gather herbs for the community's use. However, this particular venture marks the first time he is collecting herbs with the intention of selling them. Rex finds immense joy in the realization that working independently can be so enjoyable. He is profoundly grateful for the path he has chosen as an adventurer, which has granted him the opportunity to revel in such newfound freedom. After Rex feels like he has gathered quite a lot of herbs, he decides to start heading back because if it gets too late, then the reception might get crowded like the last night. While heading back, Rex feels like something is strange because he did not hear anything. According to him, things like that always mean that something is going on, like a giant monster appearing or a scary disaster. Most of the time, it is not something good. Therefore, Rex decides to sharpen his senses and find where that something is happening. Suddenly, Rex hears rumbling and sounds of trees falling and roughly figures out where it is coming from. Rex then jumps high just to check the situation from above. He sees an evil boar destroying trees in the forest. Evil boars, also known as demon boars, have an amazing charging power which makes them faster than horses when it comes to short distances, and their fur cannot be even wounded with a poor sword. They appear relatively often among the animals, and they are a big nuisance to humans and nature alike. Their scariest fact is that they act in herds. Suddenly, Rex realizes that they look agitated, and it doesn't seem like this will stop on their own. Moreover, he realizes that at this rate the town might be in danger. Judging from their speed and path, it would not even take them an hour to get to the village of Togai. As an adventurer, Rex understands his duties and decides that he must exterminate them. Adventurers that are part of the guild must fight against monsters that attack their town. It is their duty. When a herd of monsters appears, the guild abandons all interests and fights to defend the town. That is how adventurers built trust with the town and the nation. Moreover, stories of adventurers who fight with the life of the line to defend the town inspired children as they have even in Rex's past life. Hence, Rex believes that the time has come for him to become a source of inspiration for others. Unlike his previous encounter with the Green Dragon, he no longer needs to concern himself with the quality of the materials at hand as long as he remains cautious enough not to harm the forest. In this instance, Rex's primary focus is on motivating and guiding others, ensuring that they derive inspiration from his actions. He understands that the forest's well-being must not be compromised in the pursuit of his objectives. In an unexpected turn of events, Rex's attention is abruptly drawn to something peculiar. He begins to ponder whether the menacing boars he encountered earlier are pursuing a certain target. Upon closer observation, he deduces that these malevolent creatures are not simply making a beeline toward the town, but rather veering off slightly from their path at times. Intrigued by this curious behavior, Rex endeavors to improve his eyesight in order to gain a clearer perspective. As his vision sharpens, he discerns that the evil boars are relentlessly pursuing a group of courageous adventurers. This revelation ignites Rex's curiosity further, prompting him to unravel the mystery behind the boars. Rex assumes that those adventurers might have accidentally stepped into the evil boars' territory. He understands that it is too dangerous to use large-scale magic if there is someone there. Therefore, in order to avoid collateral damage, Rex understands that he needs to take them down one by one. While he tries to get in front of the herd of evil boars, he notices that those adventurers are Gyro and his companions. While running away from the evil boars, the priest bumps into something and falls down. Seeing that the evil boars are approaching towards the priest, Rex instantly comes down and kicks one of the boars to protect the priest. While facing the herd of evil boars, Rex says to them that they will have to face him. While running away from the herd of evil boars, Gyro wonders how did that happen. The magician says that it is all Gyro's fault for saying that they can keep going and forcing them deeper into the forest. Gyro tells her to shut up and asks how was he supposed to know that those things would be in there. He starts to panic when he says that he really did not think that those things would be in there. At first, it was definitely just weak mobs like goblins and kobolds. Gyro had learned how to find against them from an ex-adventurer, and they were actually doing well. He had the support of his companions and they were able to heal with magic even if they got injured, and that is why he thought that area would be a piece of cake. However, he could not understand what are those huge monsters doing around there because he had never ever heard of those monsters. If it is around the town, adventurers, vigilantes, and knights come to exterminate monsters, so there are not any strong ones, and that is what the adults told him. However, there appear to be big ones. Suddenly, the priest bumps into a tree's roots and falls down. He gets his knee injured. Seeing that Norv may have got himself hurt, Gyro that he needed to hurry and go help him. However, seeing that the herd of evil boars is approaching, Gyro thinks that Norv is going to get crushed and there is no saving him. Gyro could abandon him and escape or get trampled on with him. He could not choose one option. Within a while, it becomes hard for him and thinks that it is too late for them now. Suddenly, Rex comes to the scene and kicks one of the evil boars and saves Norv. Gyro is stunned to see that Rex says to the evil boars that they will have to face him now. Gyro is stunned to see that the one who came to their rescue was a boy around his age, and yet he looked so dependable from behind. While facing off the evil boars, Rex feels a bit of relief now that he managed to make it in time. Now all that Rex needs to do is take those evil boars down and save Gyro and the others. Rex notices that the priest has his legs injured and cannot move. Rex wants to cure the priest, but if he does not move carefully, then he might provoke the evil boars. To heal the priest without taking a single step, he decides to use his magic called Distant Heal. The priest is amazed to see that the pain has gone. Rex is happy to see that his magic worked well. Rex understood that he could not move from there if he wanted to divert them, so he had to use Distant Heal. But with that, Rex can now focus on just fighting the evil boars. He asks the Reach to stand back. The evil boars ground at Rex. Rex realizes that the evil boars seem to be planning to charge without question and trample them with their weight, but he knows that he will not let them do so. He uses his tree hold magic to bind them. It is a high-level binding magic that changes the shape of trees into vines in order to trap the enemy. Rex had made a net with the flexibility and firmness of a tree that has been strengthened by mana, so there is no escaping for the evil boars. The evil boar starts to growl in pain due to the squeaking of the binding magic. The magician is shocked to see that, as he has never seen magic like that before. The priest is also shocked and confused as he wonders how he used magic without reciting the spell. Rex turns around and asks if it is not basic knowledge to not recite spells during battles. Suddenly, he remembers that he can fight perfectly fine because he has the memories of his previous lives, but since they have little experience with actual combat, there is no wonder why they don't know about that. In that case, Rex decides to go about it wisely as someone with experience. He draws out his sword and says that it ends here. He puts his sword facing upwards and lightning strikes his sword. Trapping a thunder from the sky inside the sword creates a giant blade of thunder. That is the great magic sword that uses the power of thunder that fills the heavens. Rex swings his what toward the evil boss and uses a lightning beat to exterminate them. The blade of the formless stroke of lightning takes the enemy's life while only boiling their blood. A sword that takes enemies down without slaying them. It is the ultimate swordless art that the master swordsman in his previous life pursued and that Rex arrived at. Back in the past, when Rex proudly showcased his mastery of a specific skill to his owner, he explicitly mentioned that the skill was not what it appeared to be at first glance. Nonetheless, the skill served the purpose of protecting the fur from becoming worn out or damaged. After successfully executing the skill and defeating all opponents, Rex noticeably turned around and attentively inquired about the well-being and potential injuries of his adversaries. The magician assured Rex that they were unharmed, despite admitting to feeling a slight depletion of her mana. Sensing the magician's low mana levels, Rex contemplated the potential dangers they might encounter during their journey back to the village. In response to Rex's concerns, a priest's voice boisterously declared that the situation was not as grave as it seemed. Rex grabs the magician's shoulders and uses transfer mana. The magician is shocked and wonders what it is. Rex smiles and says that he just gave her a bit of his mana, so she should be able to use a bit of magic now. At first, the magician is confused to hear that, but then she realizes that she is really filled with mana. Rex then decides to collect the evil boars. Gyro comes to Rex while he finishes collecting the evil bars and thanks him for saving them while bowing down in front of him. Rex asks him to not mention it since helping each other is the basics of being an adventurer. Gyro then asks him if he can tell his name. Now that Gyro mentions it, Rex realizes that he has heard his name, but he hasn't told him his own name. Therefore, Rex introduces himself and says that he hopes that they get along. He puts his hand out for a handshake and Gyro hesitantly shakes his hand. Seeing Gyro tremble like that, Rex asks him if something is wrong. Gyro yells and says no while calling him Big Bro Rex. Gyro then says that he really didn't know better, getting so full of himself fighting goblins and putting his companions in danger because of that. And yet seeing that Rex came all the way there to save them, he truly felt the difference in their caliber as men. Rex feels awkward and asks if he is not saying a bit too much. Gyro grabs Rex's soldiers and says that he is in love with his strength while calling him Big Bro once again. Gyro then bows down in front of Rex and requests him to make him his underling. Rex is stunned to hear that and else out of astonishment. And so, on that day, Rex got his first underling even though he did not need one. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more manga videos.